Oh my God.
I am super ready to be told a story too, Lucy Bryden.
Oh, I'm not super ready.
So happy it's your week. I appreciate you.
I sounded so enthusiastic.
Before
we start,
yes.
I've got something to show you, because you know how you posted on Instagram that unicorn bed light, which I'm actually really jealous of, because I would quite like that.
You should be. Yes.
And you said that a 45-year-old woman maybe shouldn't have this childlike unicorn.
It was directly from the child's department at Target. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but look what I have.
Oh, what?
So if you're not watching on YouTube, you need to go over there, because you thought Karen was a child. But I have a unicorn hand puppet that's fluffy.
Literally a puppet. Oh, you win. See, I'm 8, but now you're like 4. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. And it's even white and fluffy. It's like super cute. The only thing that it's missing is like glittery. A
little lackluster. You're a hand puppet. Oh my God.
I was influenced by this. I don't know if she listens to our podcast, but I was influenced by this by our friend Peggy, who also loves a unicorn.
For Peggy Wilkinson?
Yes.
Oh my God. Hi, Peggy, if you're listening. Hi.
And we were together in the castle shop when we were visiting that castle, when we all had our castle art retreat. And she was like, go on, Lucy, you know you want the
You're
fluffy
like,
unicorn.
Damn it, I really do.
Like, and then I also bought, I'm not going to hold it up to the camera because I haven't got it at hand. I also bought like a kid's mini suitcase that's got a unicorn.
Oh my God. I love it. Well, I know the shop you're talking about, because I bought also for children like a little fairy necklace too. It was like £1 because it was like so crappy. And I'm like, I want a fairy necklace. And then I also I know exactly what shop you're talking about. I remember that. We all went gangbusters there.
I know the kids stuff is usually more exciting than the adult stuff in those places, because it's Scottish castle. So all the kids stuff is like totally folklore-y, isn't it?
Yes.
So unicorns and
all the touristy
Loch Ness
stuff.
monsters.
Oh, I'm all about it. I am all about some swag from wherever I travel. Clothes, I'm in. Hoodies.
I still want a unicorn bedside light though.
I know, right? It's so sparkly and amazing. I also picked up at that same trip golden unicorn bookends.
Oh, did you?
I did.
You need to take a photo of them so I
can
see them.
I'll have to see them. I had them out forever, and then I have to see if I did a giant when we got out. I'm very humbuggy around Christmas. I kind of hate decorating for Christmas because I get all my crap shit shelves decorated the way I want to. We have a lot of decorative shelves in our living room, and then I get really grumpy that I have to change them out for Christmas. So I have
to say that I kind of feel like Christmas decorations work really well in people that have minimalist houses, but when you've got loads of art stuff and stuff, and I'm probably the same. I've got like shelves with cool little knick-knacky things that I found in the charity shops. How do you decorate Christmas stuff around that? It's just super hard.
Begrudgingly.
I hate it as well,
because
we have a tree and that's it.
Well, you have two choices. You can either add to all your shit, like just add on Christmas stuff to your other crap, or you change it out. And so either way, I just feel buried in it. And my mom just loved when we were growing up, like she went all in. And I really enjoy decorating for Halloween. I think it's super fun and different and spooky and the costumes and all the thing. And then I'm kind of done. I don't want to do anything after that.
Do you know, we don't really decorate for Halloween over here. Yeah, and I feel like that's something that I need to start doing because I love all that Halloween stuff.
It's fun. I really like Halloween. Although I enjoy the indoor Halloween decorations more than the outdoor decorations, which is where usually people like to show off their love of Halloween. People go crazy. I mean, they have like full-blown graveyards in their front yards, and like people go bananas, like things hanging from their trees, or like some of
did you listen to that
story
My Favorite Murder episode where they were speaking about the it was like a 10-foot high skeleton that you could get from some store.
Oh no,
and
but I'm
people
sure
decorate for Halloween, and people were taking photos and like posting them on Twitter of this like massive huge skeleton.
Yes, it's a thing, and like everybody does it, and so you feel really dumb if you're not going, like if it doesn't look like Disney World from the outside of your house. But I like the spooky stuff inside. I like to bring it in because it's.
So what do you do normally?
Outside or inside?
Inside.
It's a whole thing.
I need some inspiration.
Well, I went through a series one year where I was making these. I love making them. I have a good YouTube video on how I make them. I take books and I alter them so they're super spooky spell books, like evil spell books. So you like and I kind of, what I like to do is I go to my local bookstore and I'll buy like big books of people that I hate, like politicians, or like instead of altering like an old book, I'll buy like a new book that's like $1 from a thrift store. I think I did one on like Sarah Palin one year, and I was like, like I'm gonna take this, and I like, you like have to Mod Podge it all together, so you like seal it all up. But the Mod Podge also creates like texture that when you paint it with like brown or black, it kind of looks like leathered and older. So you kind of like distress it so you Mod Podge the heck out of the whole thing. And then you can also, I like to glue, like you can get like by the dollar store, like little rubber plastic snakes and spiders and skeletons, because Halloween time, all that crap is available for like nothing, like pennies. And so you buy all these. So I have like a spidery one. So you can glue it all down with just the Mod Podge everywhere, like a whole thing. And then you paint over it with paint. And then I like to Mod Podge again. And then you can kind of like just distress it so it looks really old. And you can write and you can do all sorts of things with glue gun. So you can make like spider webs. You just draw it all with the glue gun. So you can draw spider webs. You can like write names in it, like spell book, spooky spell book. And it's all in relief. So when you paint it and then run like a distress, you can run like, it's like metallic paints, and you just take your fingers and run it over all the dried paint, and it looks so old and spooky and creepy.
That sounds so cool.
Oh my God, it's so fun. That. So I went on a run of those and I made like a whole bunch.
And then can you get like fake cobwebs, or do you just not dust for a while?
Fake cobwebs are really popular, and people put them all over their bushes and in their house. And I like to decorate like up my stairs. We have like 17 really high, broad staircase. And so I think one year Martha Stewart, I think they sell them at Michael's. It was like a whole pack of like mice in silhouette or bats in silhouette. And I would have them like up the different stairs. When you looked up the staircase, you could see these little mice like fluttering up your stairs. It was so fun. There's so many little fun things that you can do, like little bats hanging down. I really like Halloween. It's fun.
I know, me too. I love it.
It's super fun.
I do feel like I need to maybe do some decorations, though. I might have to look on Pinterest to get some inspiration.
Is there like trick-or-treating? Do you guys have trick-or-treating?
Well, we do now, because America takes over everything, and traditions get lost and become Americanized.
Well, what was the tradition before trick-or-treating? Guising?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
So it was, you had to make a fake person.
What?
Yeah. Make a fake person.
Like they look like a human?
Yeah. Stuff a shirt full of straw and stuff.
Yes.
And put it in a wheelbarrow.
Everyone had one?
And go around and ask for a penny for the guy.
Really? Wait.
Yeah.
What is happening right now? You have a straw man in a wheelbarrow and you wheel it around to your neighbor's house and ask for a penny?
Penny for the guy, because did we do that on Halloween? I think we did, because we're well prepared here in Scotland, and that is the lead up to the 5th of November, which is Guy Fawkes night. So
is that where the girls ask the guys to dance?
No, Karen Campbell.
What?
God.
Isn't the Guy Fawkes dance? Isn't that
I am eye rolling, emojiing at you.
I don't know anything, apparently. What is that?
Do you not have the 5th of November? Do you not have fireworks? Guy Fawkes night? No,
Guy Fawkes here is a dance where the girls ask the guys to dance. That's all I know. That's it.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Is that like Guy and then Fox?
No.
Like the guys are Foxy?
No, I don't think so. I think it's
Guy Fawkes was the guy who tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament on the 5th of November.
Ugh, jerk. What year was that? Test year history.
1600s or something.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not fact checking because I don't care. And and so now we have Guy Fawkes night, which has become fireworks night because again everything.
So what are you even celebrating?
Commercial.
Yeah,
and that's on the 5th of November where we have a big firework, a big bonfire
in honor of the guy who blew up Parliament. What is that even for? Because
we stick the guy on top of the bonfire.
And you burn him.
We burn him.
Kind of amazing. Wow.
And so in the lead up to that, people would go around with the man that they made in a wheelbarrow.
And you all toss your dudes on the fire together?
Penny for the guy. And then he gets stuck on the firework on the 5th of November. And the fireworks are like a more recent thing than, that's like a more recent thing. It was about bonfires and burning a person.
Jesus, that's like a really dark. That's really dark.
But we also used to do we didn't do trick or treat. We still dressed up. There are some wonderful photographs of me aged about 6 or 7 dressed up in really bad 1970s costumes. Yes. The homemade costumes from the 1970s. And we used to go around, penny for the guy, but we didn't do trick or treat. We did it was called guising. So I think you had to do a trick. You had to tell a joke or do a piece, a piece. You had to do if you could play an instrument or you had to do your turn. You had to but it wasn't about trick-or-treating.
That is so fascinating. So what about All Hallows Eve and all of that?
We didn't do, no, that was on Halloween. And then we also didn't have pumpkins. We had neeps.
What the heck? Aren't neeps like turnips?
Yeah.
What the heck?
So they're super hard to carve.
Yeah.
You can't carve them like a pumpkin. A pumpkin's pretty soft inside, so you can carve it by scooping it out with a spoon. But a turnip takes a knife and dedication, and it looks kind of shit.
Are you supposed to carve
them? We did in Scotland.
Why? Because
I don't know.
Are you trying to keep up with
pumpkins?
Americans?
Pumpkins in American.
So you're we have to carve something. Oh, we'll just carve neeps.
Well, no, I think you guys stole our idea.
Of what?
Maybe not, but I'm saying that you did. I think you guys stole our idea and you turned it into pumpkins because it was easier to carve. And then instead of just doing a trick at the door, you decided to make it a commercial enterprise and
have to say trick or treat.
I could get something for this. That's my theory, and I'm sticking with it.
I didn't know any of that. That's fascinating. Well, I know here there's there's All Hallows Eve, the All Saints Day, which is the 1st of November, which I think stems from a Catholic tradition. I know nothing of the religious part of it, except for what I learned in school as an elementary school kid, but that was a million years ago. All I know
what
is
we should do. Sorry, let's carry on.
No, I was just going to say is the Halloween tradition just gets louder and prouder every year. There is no, it's the same as it was when I was a kid, where you you go and you get as dressed up as you possibly can. But it's actually super fun because like in our neighborhood, it's really fun. There's a DJ that we live in a neighborhood of over 1,000 homes. So it's almost like a town in and of a town. And there's a DJ that lives like smack in the center of it. And so he has like a giant street party. So we'll have all of his DJ equipment outside and like the lights and the like an outdoor wedding reception. It's so freaking fun. And so the kids all you imagine the kids from 1,000 homes, everyone here has kids, and so we all kind of parade around. And what happens is the families that don't live on that main drag will actually send candy to the houses of the people that live on it, because they essentially have to give candy to all those kids. Like people all run for this one place. And so along the way, people trick or treat. So there's some pockets of the neighborhood that like nobody goes to. And the people that live on this main drag have to feed candy to 1,000 kids. So everyone has 2 point. I know multiple people that have 5 children. So in order to support the neighbors that are supporting all the kids, we just send candy to their homes so they can have enough candy to give out to all the children. But it's obscene. My kids come home with like pillowcases filled with candy. It's like, oh my God, that's so disgusting. It's disgusting.
Do you know what I do every year is I buy some just in case kids come to my house.
Yeah.
And then I might get like 2 neighborhood kids, hardly any. And so I conveniently get to just eat the rest of them the all.
Yeah, we do too. And everyone knows they have to give me all their almond joys. That's all I want. Just give me your.
Did you ever hear of that? There was a murderer that happened at Halloween where he was poisoning the kids' candy.
Yeah, there was a guy.
It was in America
in the 80s. There was like in the 80s slipping razor blades and apples and doing all sorts of crazy things. So after that, I remember that distinctly, having to like comb through all the candy and yes, it was scarring.
Super scary.
Yes,
we should do an episode. Maybe I'll look up. There might not be any more to talk about other than Penny for the Guy and Guy, but maybe we should do an episode before Halloween for Scottish Halloween traditions.
Yeah, that would be good because I clearly know nothing. I didn't know any of that.
Because you clearly know nothing. And I don't know that much, to be truthful.
Yeah.
And I might have it wrong as well.
I wouldn't know. I can't even fact check you because I didn't even know any of that to begin with. That's fascinating.
In fact, some of what I'm speaking about today, as I was researching it, thought, I should have kept this for Halloween because it's a little bit Halloweeny.
What are we even? I don't even know what you're doing.
Do you want me to tell you?
Well, yeah, because we're here.
Okay. That means I actually have to speak off of notes and worry about getting facts wrong instead of babbling rubbish.
I'm sorry.
We are doing the cat she.
Oh, cool.
So, it's super interesting. There's actually a lot more to it than I thought. And some of it was a little bit Halloween-y. So I thought, I wish I'd done this for Halloween. And I don't know why I didn't think that to begin with, because it's a cat. Yeah. And of course, cats are associated with Halloween. And why didn't I put 2 and 2 together?
Well, Lucy,
if you want to leave it till Halloween, no. And that means I've got to do a non-research episode this week.
Well, why don't you just do 2 this week? Problem solved.
2 of what? Like the one that I haven't done?
We'll record today and we'll just save it for Halloween. And then tomorrow you can just do another one.
Oh, no, it's okay. Thanks, but no thanks. All right, that's too much stress 2 days in a row.
No, I'm just kidding. I look at you're so scarred. You're not even taking it as a joke. You're like, oh God, you're like,
look of shock.
I'm sorry.
She wants me to go and research another topic tonight.
I'm 1,000,000% just joking. It's okay. You're fine. Look at you. You're like starting to weep. I'm like, it's okay.
That's actually better than I thought, because I thought you were going to say, well, you can just talk about something, like make something up.
Just ad lib the whole rest of the
just like hour. Just like go open up Wikipedia and read it.
Pull things out of your ass. We'll just turn this into something
which
else
is actually, to be fair, what we normally kind of do.
Pretty much is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I only have heard one episode about the cat she, and I was actually so disturbing that I didn't want to learn more. So I am hoping that you have some less horrifying details for me today, or at least something to add that's not as horrifying.
There is a little bit of horrifying and there's some not so horrifying. Okay. So maybe I should preface this by those with a nervous disposition might not want to continue listening.
Oh, they're everybody.
But it's not adults with a nervous disposition. Come on, you can like man up and cope with it. It's more like little kids. It would maybe
we already have the disclosure at the beginning, so it's all good. Oh, before you start, I have to just tell you super quick. On the last episode, you said you recommended Ghosts, Bad Things, the podcast, and The Nevers, and I would like you to know that we binged the entire Ghosts, all the series.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it?
Oh my god, amazing. I binged the whole Bad Things podcast. I also started back up in the what's it called? The podcast that we love. Oh, Something Was Wrong.
Oh yeah.
And we also are now
on my edge of my seat.
And we're now like knee deep into The Nevers, which I was getting confused with, I think, Shadow and Bone, which is what I was like, remember? I was I don't know if that so we hadn't watched it. And so I took all of your recommendations to heart, and you did not let me down because you never have. But Sean was on board with everything. Like we watched the first one of Ghost, and I was like, God, is Sean, because he can be like manly and be like, oh, this is too blah 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 for me and my testicles, whatever. And so I was like waiting for him to like have some snarky comment about it being too whatever. And like we watched one and then we watched another. He didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. And then before we know it, it's so funny. And the freaking Neanderthal ghost is hilarious.
It's so good.
It's so well done. I totally loved it. So I just had to say thank you because I just
like
wanted to let
one
you know
of those shows where everything in it is perfect.
I know.
Like the characters are perfect.
I know. And I love every single character. Like every single one are ridiculous. And they go all the way with it, which John and I always respect shows. It's like, if you're going to go, you just go all the way. Right. And so when they do, it's hilarious. But that Robin the Neanderthal is so funny. Like Sean and I are like dying. Like I haven't laughed that hard in so long.
The boyfriend that can't see them, and he's so annoyed that he can't see them.
He's so sweet. I love everything about that show. I was super sad.
I have to say that my favorite cat. It's really hard to pick a favorite character.
I know
from that show, but
it is.
I love Kitty.
Oh,
the
I
one
know.
That's like she's like super excited and she wants a friend, and she's like acts like she's about 5 and she gets like super excited about everything. She's so good.
Yeah, I love her too. But I really love Robin because he's French and Neanderthal, and I like cannot get enough of his facial expressions are so funny.
He's so funny. I love how he's obsessed with the moon, and without giving any spoilers, that episode where he's speaking about how the moon is just always been there.
I know.
And it was funny, but so emotional at the same time. I love that combination.
He's been in the same place for thousands of years. And he's like, oh my God, I love everything about that show. So sorry, let's go back to the cat shoes. But I had to tell you that I was like, followed up on all you never leave me astray. You always have good recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'm glad you like them.
I love them all.
And I'm sorry that I'm about to freak you out.
Okay, I'm ready.
But this isn't as bad as Sonny Bean. Okay. It's not as bad as Sonny Bean, but there's a little bit of ick. Just warning you. But as per usual, not to sound like a stuck record or anything, this is a possible fairy creature. Because we're a little bit fairy obsessed.
Was the cat she, right? And she means fairy.
Yes. So, but not necessarily a fairy creature. That is the issue. So it's called a cat she. It exists in Scotland and Ireland.
Okay.
It's specific to the folklore of Scotland and Ireland, and it's written, pronounced, I think, slightly differently, depending on what country you come from. But this is specifically a large black cat. So the cat she is a large black cat, bigger than a normal cat size, and it has a white spot on its chest. And it's also been described as having an arched back and erect bristles, which I think means like its hair stands on end.
Up on it. Yeah.
A bit like when you see a cat coming across another cat that it doesn't like, and it goes into
God. Okay, I just have to tell you, it goes into like how it looks mode. Like. Yes. So I just have to say, we have 3 cats, but we have our one cat. Her name is Tilly, but we call her Tippy McGee. She does this. She's freaking crazy, like legit crazy. We call her our sewer rat because she's like little and gray and like scary. And I just always say like she's been spreading the bubonic plague for thousands of years. She's just this little like rat cat. She's super weird, but she does that Halloween. If you sneak up on her,
standing with her back arched.
She goes like this. So so she's like, and her back is completely arched, and all of her hair stands up on end. But she does this one extra move that I've never seen a cat do ever, which is she lines up her feet in a row like sideways.
No way.
She shuffles to the side.
Like she's a silhouette.
So we call her like the sideways shuffle.
Or a crab.
Literally, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen an animal do in my whole life. So she goes,
Erin, you need to take a video next time she does that, because I need to see it.
It's the weirdest, most hilarious thing. And I have the tail end of it caught one. It's so quick though, because she's like, and she just,
my cat doesn't do that move.
And then she goes, she skittles like a cartoon sideways out of the room.
That's so funny. My cat doesn't do it. He actually doesn't even do the archy back thing, because he is such a scaredy that if he comes across neighborhood cats, he runs and hides underneath my front step or runs back in the house. And then lately I've also been dog sitting. We're going off track again.
We'll have to bring it back around quicker.
I've been dog sitting my friend's dog, and my cat doesn't do the archy back thing. He just does that if I walk really slowly, then the dog won't notice me. So I'm going to like walk like an inch an hour and like walk super slow.
Right. That's what Zoe would
do.
Okay.
Cat sheet.
Sorry. I know that pose though. It's awesome.
That's the image that you want to get.
Okay.
Is that pose.
They're like that all the time.
Cat.
They're just stuck like that.
Well, maybe they're just like that when people have seen them. I don't know.
Okay.
They're not, because I have some stories where they're not in that pose.
Okay.
So, but that is the way that they have been described. And these are bad fairies. They're not good fairies. They are bad fairies. You've got to appease them by, guess what?
Oh God. Giving them a bowl of milk.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course. And
my favorite test.
If you don't, what do?
Kick your ass.
Worse than that.
Oh God, they kill you?
They steal your soul.
Oh Jesus.
I know.
That's a little much.
Isn't that
just
really
milk.
awful?
Calm down. Yes.
They steal your soul. I just think that's like so extreme.
It's a bit of an overreaction. I'm just saying.
There is other elements to it. And actually there's other stuff to this which you've got to consider. Of course
there is. Yes.
So the other belief is that so according to Catherine Briggs, who's our queen.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she is. They are fairy creatures along with other animals that are fairies. So according to Catherine Briggs, dogs, toads, even birds are sometimes, not every cat or every dog, but fairies will present themselves as these creatures.
So they're like shape shifting into as these other presenting.
Well, but she said some of them are shapeshifters.
Okay.
She's got a whole chapter on fairy animals. Some of them, and they are different. Some of them are shapeshifters, but some of them are fairy creatures that also have the form of animals that also exist.
Okay.
So it's almost like they can be camouflaged a little bit.
Is that not the same as
not
being
all
a
cats?
shapeshifter?
This is the impression that I get. Fairy folklore experts, if you're listening, it corrects me if I'm wrong, but there are some cats. There are cats, but not all cats are catchy.
Yeah,
catchy are like
I got it.
a certain. They're the fairy version of a cat, but they don't shift into a human.
Okay.
They're just a cat.
Is this the same as being like a cat who is also a familiar?
Well, Karen,
yes.
You just read my mind and preempted me.
Ooh.
Because even though, according to Briggs, they are fairy creatures, according to other people, they are actually witches who have shapeshifted into cat form.
Right.
And according to those people, who shall remain nameless because I don't know who they are, these shape-shifting witches can only turn into a cat 8 times.
Oh.
And if they happen to turn into a cat a 9th time, they get stuck in cat form forever. Which is where this idea of cats having 9 lives comes from.
No way, it comes from witches?
Yeah.
Oh, fascinating.
This is the thing. I found out so many cool background stuff.
Yeah.
And I could have actually gone further if I started researching earlier, but I was researching this last night. So we only got as far as we got, basically.
Tell me that part.
But there are actually loads of extra folklore traditions and superstitions and things that do originate from this notion of the cat she in Scotland and witches. So that is the fascinating part.
Yeah, it is.
So according to some, they're witches. According to others, they're fairies. According to Catherine Briggs, she says that the cat she is dark green and has long ears, but that is the only place that I have seen it described that way. In all other places, it's black with a white spot.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, there is one of the Scottish clans, clan called McGilvray, has a clan motto that says, "Do not touch this cat."
Oh.
And the theory is that the clan had a cat she in its ancestry somewhere. Where I don't know whether that was a witch that then turned into a cat she, or I don't know. So Catherine Briggs tells us a really funny story. This is the cute and funny story. This is a little sugar sweetener before we get on to the nasty stuff. Okay. I thought I would give you the sugar sweetener first.
And then it goes downhill from there.
It's going to go downhill.
Bring it. I'm ready.
So Catherine Briggs has a story that actually is replicated in other places. So there are other versions of this story that are just slight variations. But the most interesting and the longest one was from her, of course, because she's our queen.
She's awesome.
And this is about the cat she. And in her story, there are 2 young men. They are staying up in the Highlands. They're staying at this really remote hunting lodge in the Highlands, and they're supposed to go out hunting, but one of them was super tired. So he decided that he was not going to go hunting that day. And so he stayed back to sleep or laze about the hunting lodge. And the other one went out hunting. So the other one that went out hunting returned home on his own.
Okay.
And when he returned home, it was already dark and he got a little bit lost and he was trying to find the hunting lodge and he saw this light and he thought it was either the lodge or a cottage. So he started making his way towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to interrupt my own story and say, while he was telling this story to his friend, they were both sitting at night, possibly over a dram of whiskey because it was Scotland, beside the fire with the lodge's black cat sleeping on the hearth of the fire in between them. So picture it.
Yep.
I'm embellishing this story now because
I love it. I'm all in. I'm there.
They're probably sitting on wing-backed tweed chairs because that's what you would get in a hunting lodge in Scotland.
And I bet you there's old books around them too.
Oh yeah. And then there's this nice, we don't know when this story's from, but whenever. And so he's telling this story to his friend and he said he saw the light. So he went towards the light. You should never go towards the light.
Never go dead. The light. Yeah.
And so as he got up to the light, he realized that it wasn't a cottage. It was a hollow oak tree.
Mm.
And so he climbed up the tree to look inside to see where the light was coming from. And just like the TARDIS, it was bigger on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And inside the tree, it was furnished like a church.
Oh, creepy.
I know, it's super creepy.
Weird. That's a weird turn.
And so he said he heard this wailing noise. It was like this howling and wailing. And as soon as I read wailing and howling, I knew exactly what that noise is because my cat does it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
He's super old and he does this like really painful wail that just makes you feel so bad when you hear it.
Why don't you just do a little impression so we can really have a deeper understanding?
We will lose all of the 5 listeners that we've got. So he heard this howling and wailing, and then this procession came up out of the hollow tree, and it was a funeral procession with a coffin and mourners that were all round the coffin, and they were all in black and they had torches and they were all wailing, but they were actually cats.
Ugh.
And on top of the coffin, there was a crown and a scepter.
Wow.
And then as he told this story and he got to that part, they were interrupted by the black cat that had been sleeping at their hearth. Yeah. And the black cat jumped up and shouted and said,
"Oh God, what?"
laughing. And shouted and said, "By Jove, old Peter's dead, and now I'm the king of the cats." And he disappeared up the chimney and was never seen again. Don't you love that? I think it's kind of cute.
By Jove.
By Jove. Jinx Crivens, help my Bob.
Oh my God, what the heck?
That's a Scottish saying that you won't get if you're not from Scotland.
No, we don't. That's the weirdest story ever.
I know.
Like a story within a story.
But that story of a cat hearing about a funeral procession and then suddenly speaking and saying, "I'm the king of the cats now," is the common thread.
Oh.
So the people that are telling the story, in my story, it's not my story, it's Catherine's story, really. And it was 2 young guys who were hunting. But there's another one that is a farmer that comes home and tells his wife about this procession that he saw, and it was cats, and his household cat does. And then there's, if you want to be super confused, there's another one. I'm going to get confused. So it's like the
story. So the human characters differ, but the story about the cats that they witness is the same.
Well,
and then
because if you were going to take, there's 2 ways to take that. It's all made up and people just have different characters, or it's different lifetimes of different kings of cats.
I'm going with B.
I'm going with B as well.
Sounds way cooler.
Because, cats only have a certain length of lifetime. So there could be the king of the cats that died in 1503, and then the next king of the cats died in
Well, it's the only reasonable explanation to be collecting all these different stories from different people.
Yeah. So one king of the cats could have been with the hunting guys, and the next king of the cats could have been with the farmer.
I have a black cat. I wonder if Zoe is gonna spring up one day, shoot up our chimney before she declares being the new cat king.
Well, there was one of them where it's the same story. But it's now you're gonna get confused because I got confused. It's a story about a cat called Tom Tildrum.
Okay.
And he had the ability to talk, and he escaped up the family chimney. It's always about escaping up the chimney. I don't know why the cat doesn't just run out the door.
Yeah.
He escaped when he found out that another cat that was called Tim Toldrum.
And what was the first ones?
Tom Tildrum.
Oh my gosh.
Tom Tildrum and Tim Toldrum.
No way.
Who came up with that?
Yeah. I can't talk. I mean, we have a first and last name for one of our cats as well.
Yeah, but why didn't they call it Tom Tildrum and Jack McDougall, not Tom Tildrum and Tim Toldrum?
It does.
Because do you know why? I had to check myself 5 times before I typed that on my notes because I was getting confused.
Yeah,
I know. So, moving on from the nice story.
Oh no! If I had my wee dram, I would be drinking it, but it's always it's like 1:30.
But we're not getting to like super gross yet. Okay. We're building up to it.
Okay.
It's so if anyone wants to listen, they can listen to the nice stuff, and they only miss like the last.
They want the good stuff, so bring it on. That's why they're here.
The cat she is also linked to funeral practices in Scotland, and it's that whole thing of stealing someone's soul.
Oh, right. I forgot about that already. Yes.
So they thought that cats she could steal the souls of people that were dead already, but nearby. So it's after you die. So don't worry too much. Because whatever, after you're dead.
So did they have to like guard people that had just died?
So they had to guard people that had just died so that the cat she couldn't steal your soul. Ooh. And this was called, they were watched day and night.
Ooh.
And it's called a Fadalach, which is a late wake.
Oh.
And what they needed to do was you need to distract the cat she so that they forget to steal the person's soul.
Do they have any like common ways of doing that?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they do.
There's a list.
There's a list. I know how I would do it. My cats are. Do you ever buy treats for your cat?
Sometimes.
Oh my God, my cats are obsessed. So when I wake up in the morning and last thing at night, I have this. All 3 cats are up my butt for their treats. But then Maggie has to have them too. So it's literally this like zoo, and I'm like fending them off. So I have to keep Maggie away from the cat.
What kind of treats do you give your cat?
They're just like cat treats. They're just called like.
Oh, they're like a tastier version of food.
Yeah. It's like,
do you know what? I stopped buying them for my cat because he wasn't that fussed about them.
Oh my God, my cats are actually I have to stop buying them. Like Zoe at one point was just sitting next to the cat treats all day long. Like she never moved from sitting next to them all day with just the hopes
my
that
cat's
someone
just like that with cat food. Every time I come into the kitchen, he thinks it's so because he's getting fed.
Yeah.
And I spend the whole day saying things like, I fed you half an hour ago. Why are you wanting more?
Yeah.
I've come in to get myself some water.
That's how
or there's food already in your bowl. Can you not see that it's already there?
Oh,
I
that's a
know.
cat thing though. If there's like a little bit of hole in the bottom of the dish, they're like, oh no, it's empty. And you're
I
like,
know.
no, it's just everywhere. But actually, I didn't know that cats can't see well closer than 8 inches. They can't see.
Oh, so you have to hold the food
like
up to them?
No, you have to fold it almost farther away if they're like too
Oh,
close. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Fun
that is
cat facts.
interesting.
I know. Sorry, go ahead. Go without your stories. I just, my cats are obsessed. It's the whole thing.
I don't know if you would be that successful with the cat she, because treats isn't really one of them unless you want to count catnip.
Oh, okay.
So,
so that's on the list. So how big
one
is
of
this
the
list?
things on the list is so
is catnip.
Imagine this. Your husband has just died. He's lying in a coffin in your house because you live in the middle of the Highlands and it's like the 17th century.
Yes.
And there's no funeral parlor.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got like a week to go before you can bury him. And he's starting to stink the house out.
Imagine having your dead family member just sitting in a
I know, it would be so gross. I'm sure they didn't wait a whole week before burying.
It would be so smelly.
So in order to not have his soul stolen, which is almost as hard to say as Tom Tildrum and Tim Tuldrum.
Yeah.
You've got to put catnip in every single room apart from the room where the body is.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that the cat she gets distracted and goes to all of the other rooms to get the catnip.
Okay.
And then, he's high.
Yes.
And he doesn't care about a body anymore because he's like busy getting high.
Got my cat crack. Yep.
So that's one. The other one is to play games. So you have to play, even though you are absolutely distraught that your husband has died.
You have to go play games.
You have to leap and wrestle.
Oh, what? You have to leap and wrestle?
Yeah. So that the cat would want to join in because cats are playful. And then the cat would get distracted and not steal your husband's soul.
That is exhausting.
I know.
High maintenance.
And then if your husband happened to die in the middle of, I was going to say winter, but let's face it, this is Scotland, which means any time between September and June, and it's freezing cold outside, you are not allowed to have a fire on in the room where the body is.
Oh, no.
Because cats like warmth and you don't want to encourage it to come.
Oh.
So you have to keep it cold.
And so that the cat else. Plus, you'd probably have to keep fires going elsewhere to like draw them away from the body.
Well, it didn't. It didn't say that. And generally speaking, old Scottish houses aren't known unless you're a laird to be A, big, or B, a fireplace in every room.
True.
So, you have to play some music. And it's special kind of music. It's called a coronach, and it's a lament.
Ooh,
because the cat would stop to listen and have a little dance and be distracted and not steal the soul.
This is
a lot of work.
List. Yeah,
a lot of work.
We're not done yet. There's more. No. Oh my gosh.
You've also got to think up some riddles and ask it riddles, but not answer the riddles, so that you confuse the cat she, and the cat she gets so confused that he forgets about stealing souls.
Oh my God. This is really stressful.
I know. Thank God for funeral parlors and like those metal shelf things that they put dead bodies in now. With that's refrigerated.
Yeah, in the morgue.
With like a tag on your toe to see who you are.
Yes.
Because she clearly can't get in there.
Seal them up and move them out.
No. We obviously don't need cats, all of that other stuff anymore.
Cute Maggie is.
I know.
She's so cute. She's like dead.
So if it wasn't just that that is bad enough. That's like
a lot of work. That is a lot of work. Especially if you do them all. You're like, get the fire going. Come up with some really smart riddles. Like put some music on. It's like a whole to-do list of things to do.
I know, but you know what I love about this? Like there's a whole heap of stuff associated with the cat she that to me is really indicative of cats. It's like cats are divas.
They're crazy.
They want their particular ways. And if they don't get their particular ways, they will piss you off and they will swipe you in the face.
Yeah.
And it's like someone has managed to take that essence of a cat.
Yes, I know. And twisted it into this whole situation.
Yeah, it's like this essence of a cat is how they behave when they're a fairy creature as well.
Yeah, I know. This is very relevant because I just had poor Rosie at the vet yesterday getting
it's Halloween soon.
I know, she had all her teeth taken out. I just feel like I'm very one with my cats right now. So.
I know.
Aww.
But we are this episode is dedicated to Rosie's missing teeth.
It's okay, Rosie. Oh, and by the way, the vet was like, comes in with this jar of all of her teeth. And
did you get to keep them?
He was like, oh, do you want these? I was like, yeah, I'm good. Nope.
Oh my God, Karen, why didn't you keep them?
They're like disgusting, rotted, like nasty teeth.
You could have turned them into a necklace for Halloween.
I was like, I don't even keep my kids' teeth. So I don't want my cat's nasty.
I'm a little bit jealous. I would have kept them.
And then he left them there. He left the room. He was all done. He just left them. I'm like, I'm not taking the teeth, dude. I don't want the teeth.
That's like when I got that. You remember my tick story, and I got that tick removed.
Oh yeah, and the little tick in the bag.
Scary hospital. Yeah. And I came away with like a little tick in it.
Yeah, we kept our black widow spider in a Ziploc baggie too. So I'm okay with the poisonous bugs. I don't want the like ill-ridden teeth. All right, so there's more. I want more of the list.
There is.
I can't believe we're not done yet.
So, cat she is also, of course, associated with Halloween,
right?
And we call Halloween in Scotland is called Samhain. And I can never pronounce it right, but never mind. And so what you have to do is you have to leave a saucer of milk out as an offering for the cat she on Halloween, on Samhain, because you have to gain their blessing. I did not know this. I'm gonna blooming well start doing this. Because if you don't, the cat she is gonna curse you.
Oh.
So if the cat she comes by your house and you don't have milk out for a blessing, so then the cat she will curse your cows.
It's the worst.
And you don't want your cows cursed.
No, that's like giving you milk, more milk, food. I
know the last thing I want is my cows to be cursed. So I'm leaving milk out this
milk
Halloween.
Is always the center of every fairy story.
It is always the center of every fairy story. Isn't it so weird?
It is super weird.
So actually I feel like a lot of this is what has helped start that link between black cats and Halloween. All that imagery that you get, black cats is a familiar to witches, black cats is Halloween. If you look at like Halloween images, so much of it is black cats and witches and black cats, and it's always black cats. It's not white cats or tabbies, is it? It's always black cats. I'm sure loads of it is to do with the cat she. Here comes Tippy.
Hi, Tippy Toopy.
Tippy, you're not black though. You can't take part in this.
My sewer rat. Doesn't she look like a sewer rat? She always has one like gooey, gross eye. I'm like,
she looks super cute.
Nasty, like a big sewer rat. Oh, little Bobo.
She's just wanting to get in on the podcast because we're talking about cats.
She's in between.
You need to get her to make that wailing sound so that we can get an example of it.
She's really aggressive right now. I can't actually get to my microphone. Tippy. Oh my God.
So actually, I'm not going to go into this too much because it's not really Scottish as such. And also I ran out of time researching. But what I did find was that there was a super interesting long history of cats being persecuted throughout time, especially black cats. And it actually, I feel like it's trickled down to today because black cats aren't as quickly picked up in rescue centers as other cats. And it's the same with black dogs, actually. And I haven't researched the dog side because that wasn't this episode, but there is also a fairy dog in Celtic culture, and I wonder whether the fairy dog is black as well. And it's kind of that whole notion of evilness because it's nighttime and you can't see the animal because their fur is black and all you can see is their eyes.
Yeah,
and because cats got associated with witches, it was that whole idea that a witch could turn into a cat and hide in the darkness and spy on you and all of that kind of thing. But in the Middle Ages, the Pope made this papal decree, I can't say that word. And this was something to do with, well, I'm not up on my religions, but Luciferianism or something. Like
the study of Lucifer?
Which they saw that people that worship that particular branch of religion
not Lucifer,
into devil worship.
Okay. So
and they worshipped apparently black cats, or so the Catholic Church thought. And because of that, there was this huge persecution of cats. They killed millions of cats. Did you know that?
I didn't know. No, I didn't know that story, but there is another story, which was the really disturbing story that I don't remember all the details. I didn't study up because I didn't know you were doing this, but it was
don't tell me the one that I'm about to say.
Okay.
That's really disturbing.
Okay. I'll tell you if that's the one that I heard, but
tell me if that's the one you were going to tell me, because I have one more disturbing story and it might be the one.
I know it makes me stick to my stomach. Yeah, it's so bad.
I know. I'm really sorry, guys. I know I dumped Sonny Bean on you, and that was eating humans, and now I'm about to dump something else.
All right, I'm ready.
But I do kind of feel like most people are here for it, because the amount of true crime podcasts that speak about gruesome murders.
The weirder, the grosser, the better. I feel like humans love this stuff.
I know, but I feel like people should just be nice to cats. Just be nice to your cat.
Oh yeah, I just got a good love session.
So, you ready? Have you braced yourself?
I'm waiting with bated breath.
So there is this practice it's all about divination in Scotland, dating from a long time ago, called Tagearm. I might be pronouncing it wrong. Go with it.
Yeah.
It's a Gaelic word, and it's known as a spiritual echo, and it's about some. So I'm going to speak about one branch of this, but it is about summoning demons in the form of animal form in order to get favors or have divination, like be able to get some kind of
power.
It sounds quite shamanistic in a way. I'd never heard of it before, so it's obviously something that the church stamped out.
Which sounds like a good thing they stamped it out.
Yeah, but the last recorded example of this one source said 1824, but another source that I read said it was written about in 1824, but they were talking about something that had been observed in the 1700s. So went a bit further back.
I hope it was.
And they believed that one of these spirits that could be summoned was the cat she.
Mm-hmm.
And they called the cat, this particular cat she, big ears. And the cat she would appear and would grant wishes to whoever went through this ritual to summon him in this ceremony. And what they had to do, was spend 4 days and 4 nights burning cats alive. Is that what you thought?
Yeah, there was, like going and finding every cat that you possibly can and then killing and like burning them all in a fire.
Yeah, I know.
Awful.
And apparently the wails of the noise of the cat would summon this spirit. So Big Ears was this giant cat that had enormous ears and glowing yellow eyes. And you weren't allowed to eat anything while you were carrying out this ritual.
How could you even eat anything while you were doing that? Well, I would just be hurling. Karen,
do you want to know what I wrote in my notes?
Yes, what did you write?
In capital letters. Would you want to eat if you were busy roasting cats?
Yeah, seriously. That's all I could think about.
Oh God, I'm glad we're on the same wavelengths with that, because that was my first thought, was who the hell would want to eat a snack while they were listening to the pitiful wails of poor cats.
About it. It's really
so we're going to skip over this as quickly as possible, because it is pretty disgusting. Yeah. But apparently there is an old Scottish proverb, which I've never bloody heard, so I don't know how well known it is, that says, whatever you see or hear, keep the cat turning.
Ew, that's horrible.
That's gross.
That's horrible.
Isn't it gross?
Yes.
I just think that's so disgusting. I'm really sorry, dear listeners, for having to listen to that, but I was going to say, but you asked for it, but you didn't. So
did they, but they had in the Middle Ages, they had like domesticated cats. I'm sure they had barn cats and farm cats, and I'm sure they were, or were they not?
They must have done, because cats are really good at getting rid of mice.
Well, yeah, but you can have like a barn cat that isn't like fully super domesticated, but that just hangs around. It's not like they were spaying and neutering anything in the Middle Ages. So there's probably cats
I wonder
everywhere.
whether was it just black cats that were seen as being suspicious.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm wondering.
Also, there also was apparently this notion of foretelling the future through observing the behavior of cats. So that must have been seen as being like a helpful, handy thing. Apparently it's called philidomancy. Oh, never heard of that either.
No, it reminded me of like necromancy.
Well, I know it's obviously the same kind of word, but with this different beginning, because the meaning. Same ending, different beginning.
Interesting.
But so I don't know whether they thought that all cats were evil, or whether it was just some cats, and it was those cats that were associated with witchcraft and the cat she, and then Tippy over there is okay. Tippy and Rosie, good. They're fine.
Okay, good.
Because one's high on opiates and the other one's just makes funny movement and is a laugh.
Cats are the weirdest.
I know.
I enjoy them so much.
I know. And they've all got their own personality.
So weird.
But do you know that there's a little twist to this story?
Oh, there is? No way. Yeah. What is that? I'm totally intrigued.
Because there is an actual wild, humongous breed of black cat in Scotland.
What? Really?
Yeah.
What? Did you know that before you researched for this?
Yeah, I knew it. So this is a variation of the wild cat, and it's called the Kellis Cat.
Oh,
and
no.
They thought for a while that it was a myth, but then one time one got caught in someone's animal snare by that it actually was a cat. So wildcats are normally tabbies, but there is a variation of the Scottish wildcat that is black, and it is humongous. It can be up to 43 inches long, and that does not include its tail.
No way. Holy cow. That's like double. Yeah, that's like at least twice as big. Wow.
And then if its tail is 12 inches on top of that, so it's like nearly 60. Is that? What? I don't know. 55 inches. I can't do maths.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently they're super endangered. There's only like 100 left in the wild or something. They are very aggressive.
Great. You're like, you're not helping the cause. Like, be nice, little kitty.
Well, they're not domesticated. They're wild cats. So wild cats need to be aggressive to survive.
Yeah, feral cats
are. Just the same way that like a lion or a panda or whatever does. You don't want to go up to one of them and try and rub its belly.
That it's like a real thing.
And there has been a bunch of sightings.
Really?
Yeah. So I've got a book that's called Mysterious Aberdeenshire. And in the Mysterious Aberdeenshire, I looked at the index for big cat sightings, and there was like 10 of them in various different places. And I'm not going to reel them all off, but Mysterious Aberdeenshire says that they speculate that these big black sightings are either released form or pets, which doesn't make any sense to me because that would be cat size, and you know, you can tell the difference,
right?
Or a native species of cat or a non-native species of cat. So could be like something that escaped from a zoo would be a non-native species,
right?
But the Callous Cat would be a native species. But their fourth possibility, and I love the way they put it, was that it was a paranormal member of the Phantom Menagerie.
Wait, are they for real? Are those really, like, they really don't know to that level?
I basically copied that out of the book.
That doesn't seem very scientific to me when they're like,
it's not a scientific book.
From here, B, not from here, or C, a ghost. Like, that's every possibility.
But it's a book called Mysterious Aberdeenshire. Do you expect it to be a scientific book?
Well, I am with you, hook, line, and sinker. So then
we're all with it. We're all with the phantoms, hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, it's gotta be.
But I think most people would go with this is the Callous Cat.
I have to Google this because.
So there's been sightings and footprints and livestock being killed. There was sightings. So just in the last 20 years, there were a sighting in 2003 in Braemar. There was a sighting in Inch in 2002. And I think this is the one that I saw this TV show about.
How do you spell it?
Kellis, Kellas. Callous Cat.
Oh, here it is. Oh, it is like a thing.
And this woman, she was actually
huge.
Yes,
huge. Creepy. Oh my God, it really is a for real thing. It's a large black cat found in Scotland. It's an interspecific hybrid between the Scottish wildcat and the domestic cat. This picture is super creepy. Look at this one. It looks like a monkey.
I know.
Oh my God.
So it's a cat she.
Okay, I feel bad saying this, but kind of ew. It's kind of yucky. That's terrifying.
Don't be horrible. You need to leave milk out. Otherwise, it's going to steal your soul when you die. And I live at the other side of the world, so I'm not there to leave catnip and play games.
Oh, that's really
so creepy. You better be careful.
There's a lot of taxidermied versions. I don't like that very much.
Yeah, I was going to say they have a taxidermy one in Edinburgh Zoology Museum. But I think it's more for sort of scientific purposes rather than look at my trophy.
Wow. Creepy. That's
they certainly wouldn't encourage people to go out and find this to
totally
kill
what
taxidermy because it's endangered.
Well, that makes it really easy to understand why they would have a big old thing about them if they really are seeing them. It's like the first instance where there's actually something like solid proof.
Someone's taking photos. Yes. I know.
Wow.
So this Callous Cat, some of the websites that I looked at said that actually it had previously been considered part of cryptozoology, which is, we've spoken about that before, that's like the Loch Ness Monster,
right? Or
Sasquatch, a creature that there's not definite proof of, that's like considered, could it be a creature that's hidden or a paranormal creature, right? And this is actually moved from cryptozoology into reality because they've actually been able to document it.
Yeah, they have 8 Kellis Cat specimens, or there was a researcher at the National Museum of Scotland who examined 8 separate ones. So they're definitely there. Wow.
I know. It said one place I read, huge. There was a website actually called the Pine Barrens Institute, which isn't even Scotland. That's in America, the Pine Barrens, isn't it? And they had said that there had been over 140, and they're called alien big cat sightings, 140 since 2010.
Wow. There's one in the University of Aberdeen. Is that close to you?
It's not that far. I should go there sometime and
go see
check it out. I know.
I want to see it. And that one was found, that's now mounted there, was found in 2002. So yeah, I mean, they're still fascinating.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is. Oh, and there's a Scottish wildcat as well, which looks like a tiger, like you were saying. Look at this, learning all sorts of new fun things today.
I tell you what, you might get grossed out by cats being roasted on a spit, but you also learn new facts.
Fun facts. And I learned yesterday that cats don't chew their food. They just swallow it all whole, which I also did not know.
Or they take it out of their bowl and put it on the floor and make a mess.
Yeah, or that as well.
Yeah, or they do what my previous cat used to do. Not this one, because he is too scared to go and chase after things. But my previous cat, she used to catch small mammals. So like mice, weasels, all of those things. And she was amazing and gross at the same time, because she would manage to eat every single part of the animal, but leave on my doorstep as a present.
Yes.
Thank you. The intestines and the the stomach, the intestines, all of those gross bits that you don't want to eat. But they were like perfectly preserved and still all curled up.
That's
left
disgusting.
On the doorstep like a present.
That's gross. Although it's equally as
mad
gross.
Skills, though.
That is mad skills.
You don't like how you preserve it with your teeth.
I know. Well, and usually like the gizzards are like a yummy parts. So it's interesting that they didn't.
Yeah. So it was a present.
I know. It's always my 3rd black cat that I've had, but I had a black cat in college and I rescued it. I went to school in the middle of Washington, D.C. So how I came across this cat, I don't even remember, but I ended up taking it into my apartment and I felt really bad because it was a giant black cat and I called it, ready for this, so creative. I named him Black Cat.
My black cat was called Jet, so that was just as creative.
So I called him BC, or Beast for short, like Beast without the T. So I had Beast forever, and then I felt really bad because he was huge. He was gorgeous.
He wasn't a cat,
He was humongous, so he could have been.
Did he have a white spot on his belly?
No, he was jet black, like jet. And so my mom actually took him home So I ended up living with my parents' house, and because I like felt really bad that I had him slammed into my tiny indoor apartment. So my parents lived out like backed up to a horse farm, tons of land, super safe. And this was before you weren't supposed to let your cat outside, which now it's like a big no-no. So they had him, and what
do you mean you're not supposed to let your cat outside?
So in the States, it's a very big no-no to let your cat outside.
What?
You're like not supposed to let your cat outside. Yep. Because there's too many dangers between cars and prey and predators. There's too many dangers and you shouldn't do it.
What?
Yep.
Does everybody keep their cats inside?
Most everybody. It's like your vet will flat out tell you. It's like you get shamed if you let your cat out.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Hang on a minute. Mm-hmm. Hang on minute.
And I know this because I used to work for my first job out of college. I worked for an animal hospital, and it was like, you're not supposed to let your cat out. And I knew that because I worked there, and I freaking I had a black kitten, another black cat named Pepper, also a creative name. And she was a kitten, and I was actually going to work at the animal hospital. She got out of the house, followed me down the steps. So when I got in my car, I actually ran my own cat over with my car. I didn't end up killing her, but I like cramped her little lungs. And then I had to put her in the car, drive her to work, which was the animal hospital. And then I had to it was like the shame of the hospital, because they're like, well, that's why you don't let your cat outside. Then you run it over. And I was like, and that was the first week that I met Sean. And then I became to him and his friends like, because I met him through my work friend at the hospital. They were like, oh, haha, like your dumbass friend who ran over her own cat who works at the animal hospital. That was me. I know. So it is a big thing here.
Hang on a minute. Yeah. I need to interrupt again. That is just, I have to say that is friggin' crazy. If you come here, you see cats all over the bloody place. They can look after themselves, for God's sake.
Well,
and they also need to go out and like potter about and like check out the neighborhood and like do a little pee in someone's garden and have a bit of fun in the woods. That keeping them all inside, that's like super prisoner.
Okay, but see, I have like this weird history with my cats and my cars. So even here today, like we let Tippy out because she's like freaking crazy and was like kept like she would just sit at the door and you'd open it and she's like she's like a little rat. She's like quick and like just so I would like crack the door and she would go flying out. And I finally just gave up and I was like, look, I can't keep her in. I'm trying my best and she's just getting out. So I'm just gonna I'll get her she was already vaccinated anyways, but I was like, I'll put her on flea and tick control and just let her out. But this was this year. Let's see. I pulled up the picture on my phone. I actually had a video of it and I think I erased it. So it was January 4th. I'm taking Max, my youngest, to get his allergy shot for having cats and dogs. And we're like driving down the road and I hear this like, and I was like,
she was in your car.
What the fuck is that sound? Like, why do I keep hearing that? And it was like, and I was like, why do I hear that sound? I'm like, Max, like, where are you hearing that? And he's like, I don't hear anything. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going crazy. What is that sound? Yeah. So I cut the engine and then the sound stopped. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's just like there was like a ton of kids playing outside. I'm like, maybe it was just kids like messing around. So I turned my car back on, keep driving down the road. And I kept hearing this freaking sound. And then I was like, okay, there is a cat somewhere. So I cut the engine. I like made Max get out. I'm like, go home and get dad right now. So he like sprints home. So I Google really quick, where can a cat hide in your car? Because I was like, I don't even know where to even look. So
oh my God, if you ever get done for a crime and they want to search your Google history, they'll be like, what the fuck?
What is she doing with the cat? So it was like, they can sometimes get stuck.
You know what they would say though? They would be like, she shouldn't have let her cat out.
I am telling you, I keep like killing my cats with my car. So I like jack the hood open and lo and behold, and here's a picture, out crawls my cat out of the freaking I know.
That's crazy.
She was literally like I don't even know where she was, but she came crawling out of my engine like out of the top. And I was like, hey. So yeah, and I have the video because I was like, oh my God. So I'm just so glad she didn't get hurt. But this is why you're not supposed to let your cat outside, and I keep being the one to do it.
They like to be out in
they love
gardens.
being in my car engine while I'm driving.
Unless they're really annoying. Like in my neighborhood across the road, there's somebody that's got like 5 cats, and some of them are super cute. One of them hangs out in my garden, but some of her cats, seriously, it's like something out of an Alfred Hitchcock film. Like you'll come out of your back gate and there'll be like 4 cats like sitting all along the road just watching you. I'm like, you're watching me, stop watching me.
I know, I'm not against it. I think it's fine, but it makes me paranoid, and I keep actually being the one to injure them myself, and then I'm like, damn it. Like,
but what I'm shocked at is that I'm shocked that in the United States, it is a thing that it is kind of considered the norm to not let your cat outside, rather than it's almost the opposite around here. It's like people would then choose to only have a house cat. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like most people would let their cats out, and the only people that don't let their cats out are either people who have like super expensive breeds of cats that they don't want stolen,
right?
Or they're their little baby and they don't want anything to happen to them because they bought them for £2,000,
right.
Or if they live in like a high rise in London and obviously the cat can't get out. But if you live somewhere like me where most people have gardens, all the cats, so there's cats freaking out. Maybe it's a good thing though, because they do shit everywhere. It is kind of annoying.
I know. No, I mean, I think cats are everywhere around here, but people generally keep them inside. Not everywhere. And it's not like, no one would shame anyone. Like that's not a thing, but definitely veterinarians are like, give you the kind of like, well, like that's a lot of, it's like, and not only that, if you go to adopt a cat from like a rescue, if you say that you're going to let your cat outside, you will not be they will take you off the list.
What?
Mm-hmm. You're not eligible to adopt if you admit out loud that you might possibly let your cats outside.
Every time we do this podcast, we learn.
I know.
We learn of something that's either fucking crazy in my country or fucking crazy in yours.
I know, right?
That is on you this time.
It's not my rule. We're just trying. We like covet their lives so much that we just want to make sure.
I think their lives is getting to climb up a tree.
I know. No, I'm with you. Like and the only reason that I'm not all, like I said, I'm not full in, and I've had indoor outdoor cats my whole life. And actually, it's actually so weird is that Tippy, since that day happened, she won't go outside anymore. Like, I'm fine. I don't care. I'll let her in. I'll have the door open. And she actually chooses. She like stopped escaping, which I think is so weird.
If no one else in the neighborhood lets her cat out, like you say, you get peer pressured. Like you can't let your cat out, even if you think it's okay, because people will be like, look at that person. They let their cat out.
Like I said, I don't think people shame between people. It's more like vets, like the people that are in charge of the greater animals, like the people that run the rescue organizations and the people that are the veterinarians. I think everyday people don't really care that much. And then the vets and everything, they're just trying to care. They're just trying to protect the animals. I totally get it. But also, I mean, us personally, we back up to a nature preserve. And so there's like, we have giant snakes and hawks, like the actual predators besides the cars, which is where my cats always seem to get injured. It's like no joke. I mean, you really do take a big risk. It's not like we're in if you're in a big city area, then the dangers are people. And if you're in a big nature area, then the dangers are other animals, right?
So just without us having a 5-hour podcast.
No, I actually have to go pick up my kid from school in like 5 minutes. Yeah.
Can I just quickly ask, is it really unusual to see cats wandering around then in the States?
Where I can't speak for everywhere in the States, but where I am, I don't think it's unusual, but if you see a cat, everyone is immediately concerned. Like you're like, oh, like does it have a collar? That must belong to someone. Like it always is like conjures up a conversation of where hoping that it's safe. There's just this utter like hyper need to like make sure they're all okay. Like, oh, and someone might post a picture and be like, is this your cat? Like it must be lost.
Do you know, that's so funny because on my like daily walk, for example, I'll come across a shit ton of cats.
Yeah. But I think that also depends on the area. I'm sure rural, like super farm rural areas, I'm sure they all have outdoor barn cats and it's like super fine and it's like no big deal. It's just where we are. But I do live in a very different place than where I grew up, and it is the same way here. I was gonna say something about something else and I forgot, but yeah. So
anyways,
awesome.
On that note,
cat. On that really awkward.
On that note, leave a saucer of milk at Halloween.
Yes, just to be
safe. And if someone in your family dies, get your riddles and your catnip and your games and your songs and your ready.
Yeah,
so that
and fires,
because otherwise their stolen soul will be on your head.
Do they eat it?
Don't go killing any cats because you will not be able to summon a demon. You'll just be evil, and quite frankly, it's the first step to being a serial killer, and we don't want to encourage that.
Thanks for the hot tips, Lucy.
I know.
It's great. If you don't want to become a serial killer, just don't kill the cats.
Don't kill any animals.
Until next week, we will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.